to the Wager Makers Podcast with Webb and Schmidt.
Brick by brick, baby. I'm freaking out, Webb.
I was told there'd be no man. Stupidity is going to be an asset. What a bunch of crybabies.
Hello, my name is Steve Smith, and this is Rob Weber. Say hey, Webb.
Hello. What's up, Smith?
What's up, Webb? I'm Smith. That's Webb. We're the Wager Makers, and we're back again for another episode. We're getting into it, Webb. I'm excited this week. We got the NFL playoffs. I'm into it, dude. I don't always at this time of year love games. Now I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I love a couple games this weekend.
That's good to hear. I don't love anything, so I'm willing to hear what you think. I'm sure there's going to be some crisscross there, but let's see. That's cool.
Right.
That's
cool. I'm ready. I'm trying to build a little nest egg heading into Sunday, so I don't have.
There's no doubt.
Hopefully, I'm not bailing myself out with these games I love. That could be a bad.
Right.
That could
be all gravy. Be all gravy.
Webb, it's episode number 144. If we throw out the one, we got your old boy Robert Newhouse. That's the first.
Yep.
I don't know why that's the first 44. There's been a lot of great 44s. That 44, maybe just because my childhood, that was the big wide leg 44 fullback back in the day.
He actually threw a touchdown pass in one of those Super Bowls. I don't know how that popped up somehow the other day, but yeah, love Robert Newhouse.
All right. Speaking of your Dallas Cowboys, Webb, lot of news. Obviously, Mike McCarthy's out of the building. Jerry Jones been known to do whatever it takes for a big splash, a big news story. Certainly sell tickets. Talking about our guy Coach Prime maybe going over there, finding out a way to get his son to play quarterback for the Cowboys and also coach for the Dallas Cowboys. What do you think of the chances of
that? Slim to none. We're very well documented in our love of Coach Prime. I'm so sick of fucking Jerry Jones. I can't even tell you. Like, I'm close to not even rooting for it. I don't follow it anymore. I don't do anything with that anymore. But first of all, it's the one reason why it's not going to happen, because there's no way he's going to coach against his son. There's no way the Cowboys will do what's necessary to get Shandor on the team. So there's no way they're taking some type of loss or going to eat money or do whatever. So that just won't happen. They can't get from 12 to 1 or 2 or whatever the number is going to be.
I don't know. I think this can happen, Webb. I think they can move up high enough. They can make something happen. I would hope that it doesn't. Well, here, the negative is it's just going to add to the circus that is Jerry Jones. That's what us non-Cowboys fans are looking forward to, I think, the most. I think it's going to we certainly would have something to talk about every week on the podcast. We'd have to do 2 podcasts a week.
It's just for me, it'd be the worst reality show in the history of the world. But I think, and then a couple other reasons. I'm not a fan of Deion's offensive coordinator, Shermer. I don't know if he would come with them, and I don't even know who the DC is. But if we could get him, I'd take Coach Prime and let him do his thing and get some more, I don't know, savvy or up to date, better, I guess, OCDCs. That would be fine. I got no problem with that.
I think that's his MO anyway. He's the head guy. He sits at the press conferences. He makes videos. He gets the NIL deals for the guys.
He's the CEO.
Yeah.
They have kind of.
He'll let the X's and O's guys do their thing.
Right.
And he's going to be Coach Prime. That's that.
Right. And I got no problem with that at all. I do. I like that, as long as the right guys are in those positions, which I don't. The dude Shermer's been in the NFL for like 10,000 years. I don't even know how he ended up with Coach Prime, but I don't want him. Right. So that's my thing. I don't. And I'm glad McCarthy's gone. He was just a big blowhard. Like, I'm a winner. He won 1 Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers when he was the best player in football. I'm sick of hearing him say how he's a winner and how good he is. So fuck him.
Right. The Cowboys have been mediocrity through his whole existence as the Cowboy coach, for sure. He's got ties to New Orleans as well. He was the offensive coordinator here under where Aaron Brooks and Hazlitt was here. So
he was. They mentioned them and the Bears. I think he interviewed with the Bears. But he won 36 games there for 3 years. But both times we were the only home team to lose in the first, whatever that round of the playoffs. I'm not a fan. I'm glad he's gone.
Yep. I would love to see the Dion show.
Yeah,
because it would just be a show. A lot of people.
It would be. How many press conferences can they have? Like Dan would have his, Jerry would have his. It just, I mean, it would be a 24th. It's just beyond my. I can't even do it.
Keep it in an NFC South, Webb. Trying to keep it classy. Before we start about this next conversation, I want to say
NFC East.
Yeah. NFC East. That shitty division over there. You guys.
Yeah.
First, I'm going to say I know a lot of Eagles fans, and I know a lot of good Eagles fans. This is not going to be an indictment on the Eagles fans all around the world. No. In fact, they might be coming here for the Super Bowl. In fact, they might be. So I'm not going to say anything bad about the Eagles fandom in general. I'm going to say something about one dude.
Even as a Cowboy fan, I got you. I understand what you're saying.
All right. So this guy, he was in the stands the other day. Just ripping into this Packers woman. I the guy's name here somewhere. I'm not even going to mention his name on here, but I mean, calling her everything, busting out C words. I'm sure we've probably said the C word on this show before, and we will again. But you got to be really into something to do that, not to some girl's face just for rooting the other team. But I mean, this guy was unbelievable. This Eagles fan to this Packers girl, and it crazy.
Well, this wasn't like an 18-year-old kid who just was out in the parking lot drinking, whatever, Everclear or something, and just this is a grown man with children yelling like crazy abusive at a grown woman, like a Packers fan. Like I'm not sure this woman could scare any. Like what would she? She just sat next to in front of or wherever it was at the wrong fucking asshole. It was bad.
Yep, unbelievable. How do people? And it's not just the Eagles. This happens at stadiums regularly.
Oh yeah.
Where did look? We are invested in these games, and like as much as you like our dollars and cents. You know what I mean? I don't even know. But I mean to do that over a ball game, and we've all been heated at games at stadium. But I mean it's unbelievable what this dude was doing the other day. Plus the funny thing is, so this guy, right? He works for like a DEI company, like the equality and all that stuff.
Diversity, equality, and inclusion.
Yeah. So I mean, his whole existence it's typical of this DEI stuff. It's an old white guy. This old white guy gets his paycheck off of this bullshit that all these companies are doing away with this DEI thing now. But it's typical. This guy is the most woman-hating mofo in the fucking building. But he gets his whole paycheck off this DEI. What does he do? Walk in, teach companies how to be equal and diverse.
Hire people or whatever. Like it just shows the complete hypocrisy of the DEI thing, and like this dude is obviously a bigot on the worst level. I mean, what if this chick what happened to be black or whatever? I mean, maybe what else is he throwing out? I don't know. I mean, listen, DEI is not only ridiculous, but it's harmful in my opinion. I can't wait till we get rid of it. But it just shows the hypocrisy. This dude makes his living, and he's got like he's married with like a kid, I think too. I don't know the specifics, but it's just ridiculous. Again, listen, if the kid was 18 years old, make it us, and the kid was way too fucked up. He did, he's out of control, completely whacked out. But this is a different scenario, and I'm coming from a dude who's had his time too, but that's listen, man, that's too much, and he gets what he deserves. I feel bad for the kid. I mean, because that shit's all over the place.
Yep. Moving on. We've had differences of opinion about this guy before. Mike Tomlin catching a lot of heat. Webb. The Steelers, a lot of fans saying he's got to be gone. He gets kind of one and done in playoffs a lot. I disagree. I think his teams always show up to play. They didn't have their best outing this past week against Baltimore. They didn't play well, I thought. I didn't think they played very enthusiastically even, but I think they were just outmatched. And really, I think their season and their record was a bit of smoke and mirrors. But it just shows you that sometimes his teams win the games they're supposed to win, and if you do that in the NFL, you end up with the 10-7 season, and you end up with a wild card. This guy, he's never his lifetime record is 183 and 107-2. Excuse me, 8-11 in the playoffs. But every team loses in the playoffs unless you win a Super Bowl. You're 0 for 1 to start with, no matter what. Every time he's got 2 Super Bowl wins. Never in 18 years had a losing season. To me, that's unbelievable.
If a whole lot of teams in the NFL would like this guy's record over the last 18 years. Is all I'm saying.
Well, that's an easy statement. That's a cop out. That's a bullshit fucking statement.
Thank you very much.
Quite frankly, he won 2 Super Bowls, right?
No, he won 1 Super Bowl. He was in 2, I think.
All right, so yeah, so I needless, everyone knows I'm not a Steelers fan. I'd always thought for a long time that the kind of inmates, to use a bad, reference, inmates kind of run the asylum. He had Roethlisberger there running wild. He had whatever the other maniac, AB, and then now he's got this dude Pickens. This year was a good year. It depends what you want. Do you want to win? Or do you want to be? It's cool to win 10 wins and then you're done. If I was a Steeler fan at this point, we got to move on.
All right. I disagree. I think the dude's in it.
Who
every
cares
year.
about
even when you think his teams aren't good, they play better than they play above their head.
And then to what end? To lose in the first, to lose early in January.
A lot of teams lose in the playoffs. I would just rather be there. Neither of our teams are losing in the playoffs.
My team loses in the playoffs all the time. It's not this year. And I don't want that coach. Basically, who cares? You win, And then to say that, of course, the Cleveland Browns would love to lose in the first round, but who's going to be a Cleveland Browns fan? Fuck that. You want a team that's going to be consistently a viable option to do it, and they are not that, and haven't been since Roethlisberger was before he found God, probably. Reed's wedding.
When he stopped raping girls.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So they're a non-contender no matter what they win. They're not a threat. No one's afraid of them. They're in that division. They're stepchild. So I get it. He's who he is. He wins games, but I'd rather go look at the Rams. Would you rather win a Super Bowl and then suck for a couple of years and now you're back? Like the Rams are a more viable threat than they are.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Rams threat.
Yeah, I understand where you're going, but for me, I don't need to win regular season games. I don't give a fuck.
All right, I like getting into the playoffs. I like at least having. I like games meaning something down the stretch at least and getting into the playoffs.
Understood.
They got smoked in the playoffs. Easy to jump on that right now, but this team is always.
It's not just this year. It's not a one-off. Well, listen, everybody wants to play meaningful games after Thanksgiving, but when you knew their ass wasn't going to win more than one game in the playoffs, and when you're eating Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, like Steelers are going to get waxed, and it's like Notre Dame in for past years in the playoffs. They're going to get waxed. They ain't good.
Yep. All right. Also, one last thing before we'll get into our picks and stuff. There's been a lot of talk in Philly and about A.J. Brown and his relationship with the offense and relationship with Hurts. And this week, Webb, he was on the sideline reading a book on the sideline. You saw that?
I did. I was shocked to see that. And I don't have any problem with it. Maybe he goes, he's obviously he's well documented. He had some issues like yelling at Hurts, but he's not wrong. Hurts sucks. I don't care what anyone says. They hide him. But yeah, listen, good for him. I got no problem with it. It's not like he's fucking scrolling on TikTok to check the likes. He's just trying to read some shit to calm him down. Don't go choke my quarterback. Don't punch my offensive coordinator in the face. Good for him, man. Good for him. More people.
I don't know if he was actually reading the book or just trying to make a statement there. Like, I'd rather fucking sit here and read a fucking book. It's a problem.
No.
Maybe you could stand up one time and cheer on the defense. And
I didn't read that into it. No, fuck that. Does the defense stand up and cheer him on? They're professionals. All right. Kudos to him.
Big picks this week, big picks. First, let's talk about the college. How's the college tournament wrapping up for you? How are you feeling about this? This is we got Notre Dame and Ohio State. Ohio State's been knocking the doors off of teams, but this point spread's pretty big.
I think it's 9. This is like my worst nightmare. These two fucking teams.
Yeah.
It's funny. I just sent out a text a little while ago. Bunch of us were in this bracket pool. Every one of us, to a man, just got completely waxed and wasn't even in it from game 2. But it's tough. I don't think Notre Dame's offense is any good. It's tough. Let me pull. What do you got for the number 9?
Yeah, 8.5, 9, depending on where you're looking.
and I am loath to bet on Notre Dame, but I'm leaning that way. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards taking the points just because I hate both of these teams. I can't even say equally because no team I hate more than Notre Dame.
Right,
but,
correct.
But if I was ever going to take them, it would be getting 9 points in a championship game.
Right. Lose by 7 and everybody's,
right. And then I could hate them. It would be typical for me to do that and then lose by 40 points is what
right. Well, that's what's
certainly happen.
Right. Well, either if we take them,
if we take Ohio State, they're certainly backdoor covered. They're not winning,
right, absolutely,
but they're certainly going to lose by 7.
Right. And it's down to 8 and 46.
Yeah.
I mean, I would lean towards the over just because somehow it seems to go over most of the games. But at this point, I'm going to take the 8, just reluctantly, just because it's the championship game. But and Ohio State can't. I mean, they got a bunch of pros. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It's 8
They've
points.
been hot. Ohio State's been hot the last few weeks.
They're
looking
very
good.
well.
But I mean, I kind of thought more. But really, they beat Texas by 2 touchdowns, but really Texas was going in for a tying score towards the end of that game, and that was when the fumble returned for a touchdown. That's how the 14 points. So that was a good game. Oregon, I never felt that strongly about Oregon all year long, to be totally honest with you. So I'm not that impressed with that. They did whoop up on Tennessee too, which kind of surprised me. That was that home game. So
I agree with completely with the Oregon thing. But again, I think had Oregon played the week before, we would have seen a different game. I'm not saying they would have won, but they would have showed up. I think.
And possibly, maybe Notre Dame, maybe this Freeman guy will get Notre Dame ready to go, where they can keep it close. We'll see what happens.
And after we talked about it last week or whatever the last show was, I still got a little soft spot for him after what he said. He didn't take that bait on the press conference, so maybe he's a good dude, and that I can kind of rest my hat on that when I put in that when I hit submit or whatever.
When we take the points.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the NFL web. Saturday's a little bit tough for me, I think. A lot of big spreads there on Saturday.
Give me one more second. I apologize. I meant to have it up.
Yeah. So the early game is the Texans at the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs -8 and 41.5. The Chiefs are not going to lose. Can we agree on that?
I mean, the Chiefs in the over. I mean, I got 9 here. Actually,
I mean, I don't know what the weather's looking like over there right now. It's saying
-9 even, and then there's some extra juice on the Texans +9. I mean, if it's bad weather, I'm just taking the Texans, taking the Chiefs. There's no doubt. I mean, Texans above their head. They didn't play well. They're happy to be here, type thing. They're gonna. I saw something earlier. They're pounding their chest. They're the big dogs because their defense finally played well. Their offensive line blows. The one receiver had a hell of a day. He's not going to do that again. They're going to scheme. What's his name? Spagnuolo's going to scheme it up. To me, I mean, a big number, no doubt. But that's pretty easy.
Yep. I like the over too. And looking at it.
Well, it depends. Weather.
As long as it's not a snowy, rainy, cold, and they fucking
definitely.
Right.
If it's no snow.
Right. Next, Commanders web. I've been all over Jay Daniels for all season long, but this might be about time to hop off the train. Although this is a high point spread and a high total as well, for one of the highest we've seen in a while.
9.5 and 55.5. The 55.5 scares me. I'm not. I will
it's
not.
Too high.
That's a lot of points. Listen, kudos. This is kind of a similar situation. Kudos to the whole Commanders, top down, fucking ridiculously good season. That receiver is awesome. The quarterback, it looks like he's legit, much different than back in the day when they had what's-his-face, the one-hit wonder, RG3. So, but now here's the rebuttal. Detroit looks, again, real good. They're in the dome, but they got a lot of injuries. So this is very tough. I mean, so we're looking at, you got to be up 17 here to not get backdoor covered. Having said that, I would go. I'm going to lay the 9.5.
All right. I'm on the fence about that. I could possibly see me taking some points that day, but just because I've ridden with the Commanders quite a bit and they've been pretty good for. Not that the Lions haven't.
I hear that you got some equity, some goodwill built up. Again, this is not a Cowboy division thing. They're happy to be here. They're way exceeding expectations, and the shoe's going to drop on the team at one point. But Detroit is way banged up, dude. So I don't know. Yep. That's
all right. Well, let's get to Sunday, Webb. Sunday. These are the games I've been waiting.
We should just led with this. This is what you've been waiting for anyway.
And it's even going. The point spread I think has gone opposite of me for the Bills. Let's go look at Bills Ravens first. The point spread is going opposite of me. I think it opened at about -1 Baltimore, and now it's showing 1.5. And I like the Bills, Webb. I have no
problem with that. That's an easy bet for me. I'm not going to bet Baltimore. 51.5. I could kind of see that go over, depending now. I saw
they're saying it might be like record colds up there or something like that. But
so I don't know.
But both of these teams, all they do is run the ball and run with their quarterback too. The weather shouldn't be that bad a deal. But I think Buffalo's going to be more used to that. I think Buffalo's going to come up with enough plays. We've seen Lamar Jackson enough to know that occasionally in the playoffs he can drop the ball.
Not occasionally, every year.
Yeah.
I mean, give him another MVP. Who gives it? Again, this is going back to my thing with the Steelers. Okay, win the MVP. How about you win a meaningful playoff game? You won the first one. Okay, good.
100%.
Here's your pat on the back. But now you're not getting paid this money to lose this fucking game again.
Yep. All of a sudden, I don't see how are they favored on the road in this game.
Well, that's what scares me.
Right. Yeah. The fact that I don't understand it at all.
Right. That's what scares me. But I'm not going to bet Baltimore. I'll tell you that for sure. And listen, I've been critical of what's his name too, Josh Allen. It's time for him to step up too. I mean, listen, man, one of these guys got to do fucking something. Someone's going to win. So that's good news. For
somebody's going to go lose to Mahomes. Somebody's going to get
again.
Right.
So I don't know what the weather is. Snow kind of, if we can't see the field, that changes everything. But if it's just cold, I think I agree with you 110%. That's Buffalo. They live there. I mean, it's fucking balls cold every day.
Right.
So take the home team with the weather.
All right, moving on to the earlier game, Webb. I talked about the Eagles. I love the Eagles, and not because everybody talks about the offense and A.J. Brown and Saquon and Hurts, but I think their defense. I can see Stafford pulling himself up on the ground a lot in this game. The Rams have come as far as they're going to come this season. It's been a rough season. They played hot down the stretch. They're hot now. They won 4 of their last 5 at least. But it was against. First of all, the game last week. I loved the bigger the blowout, the better for me because I was taking the Eagles this week anyway.
Right.
So the more and more every time what's our Minnesota quarterback name?
Oh yeah, Sam Darnold.
Remember he had that video a long time ago when he was in New England with the Jets. It was like I'm seeing ghosts out.
Oh, right.
He couldn't do anything.
No,
he couldn't do anything. And so eventually that's how the 27-9 win came up against Minnesota. Is eventually just the Minnesota offense couldn't do anything. I think there was guys there. There was guys open. They weren't blocking for him very well. Sam Darnold didn't have much time.
But he holds the ball longer than anyone. Like
I think Minnesota crapped the bed. The Rams aren't as good as what that score was. They lost to Seattle the week before, which I think they were resting guys probably. But then their wins before that are like Arizona, the Jets, San Francisco, all down. I think the Eagles D at home comes to play this week and plays enough that the Eagles are going to put up 25, 30 points. They do it every week. They find a way. They're gonna do it, and they're gonna easily cover the 7, 6.5, 6. Hope it's 6.
I got 6 and 43.
That'd be great. I might put that shit in right before the show's over.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. I think the pushback I'll have is the Rams' defense they played fucking good. And that's not a bad offensive line from Minnesota. I know the left tackle got hurt, but they did sign Cam Robinson, who was like a number 3 pick in the draft. So that's what gives me pause, and I damn sure don't want to bet on the Eagles. So I'm going over. I agree with you. The Eagles are going to score some points, but McVay is going to score at least, can they get to 17? They can. And that's going to be probably good enough or more. If you get to 21, then that 6 is definitely going over, and that 6 is in jeopardy. So they got the Hawaiian dude, they got Cup, they got a bunch of things. He's going to scheme something up. McVay is good enough to scheme something up to score some points. Now, I don't know. 6 is not the biggest number in the world. That's a score. You lose the game by 7 points, you're not getting smoked. So I'm going over. I mean, that's the easy out for me. Right. And again, I think it's more than attainable.
There you go. We like the over. I like the Eagles. Webb's on the fence. We both like the Bills.
Yes.
We like the over and the Chiefs. And
yes, well, that's again weather pending.
We're kind of split. We kind of like maybe the under on the.
I'm not betting the under.
On the Lions. I'm not doing any. It could be 30-30, but I'm not banking on. Things got to go pretty right to get over 56 in today's NFL.
Correct. Yeah, but it's bet the under. You're sitting there, you're punching yourself in the balls for 3 hours. Yep. It's not. Right. It's not fun. There's no reason.
And as our friend.
I mean, I may take the 10 depending on I buy that 9.5 to 10. I mean, that's a number for sure.
As our friend Scott Wheatley says, life's too short to play the under. That's what he said.
There you go. Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right.
And then what are we doing? Oh, wait. So what do we say? We're going to reluctantly take the points on Monday night?
I think we take the points Monday night, Notre Dame.
I agree.
All right. There you go. You got the picks. I love Sunday. Bet the house. I'm betting the house on it. It makes me nervous. And rest in peace, Bob Euchre. We wish you were here. You could have been on the show.
Miller Lite tastes great, baby. I just sent you something where he pretended he was Whitey Ford. He was like showing some guys at a bar having to a curveball, and the guy goes, "Wait,
he was right
yeah,
here."
Yeah, it wasn't Whitey, weren't you? Left. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's what I meant."
All right, I want to thank Wilbur Investigations, Turtle Bay, MN3 Technologies, merchbob.net. Devin's going to tell you what to do on YouTube, and do it. Don't fuck around. We need some fucking people. Give us some feedback. Give us something.
Yeah, do something.
It's cold there in New Jersey. Webb needs something to do. Work from home job.
Right. That's right. For high 6 figures.
Thank you all for joining us. Webb, take us out.
Brick by brick, baby. You're welcome.
Welcome. Thanks.